Our first look at the forecast. Let's bring in weather specialist Nora Raffet.
Hey, thanks very much, Jaden. Well, we know the Toronto skyline is always quite gorgeous. If you are looking for proof tonight, though, unfortunately, I don't have it. We've got a lot of fog in the air that's obscuring our view. We also have some cloud cover and some light flurry activity in Toronto. 0 degrees just now outside the Toronto airport. You know what? Many across the map have been seeing quite the snow earlier this afternoon, pushing into the evening. On the shores of Lake Huron, though, around southwestern sections of the province, that's where we're seeing some milder conditions. We're looking at mixed precipitation here in purple and even some light bands of rain, and that's because of these mild temperatures above the freezing mark already in Sarnia, Windsor, pushing into St. Catharines as well. Still a tad bit frigid, Ottawa, Bancroft into Timmins at minus 11 degrees. We've got these strong winds from the southwest, at times the south, to blame or to thank perhaps for these mild conditions. We know it's going to get quite windy as the evening progresses, though. 80-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts potentially for areas like Port Colborne into Haldimand County, and that's this evening into tomorrow morning. The rest of us, we don't have the winds per se to worry about, but it's more so the snow. Toronto and pushing into eastern sections of the GTA, even approaching the Kingston area, 5 centimeters, potentially up to 10 as you head east by tomorrow. And then when you hit the Peterborough region into Cavan, Monaghan and pushing north, that's where you have 10 to 15 centimeters as we head into tomorrow. Thunder Bay, if you've got friends over there, make sure you check in on them come tomorrow, because they're going to see snowfall rates at 3 to 4 centimeters per hour. This is a system here. It's lingering into tomorrow morning for parts of the east. By the afternoon, though, things are going to start to clear up. Even some sunny breaks potentially around the Muskoka, Bancroft region. And as the evening progresses, we remain dry. But that won't be the end of the messy weather. We'll talk more in the full forecast. -1 in London tonight, +1 in Fort Erie. And as we head into your day tomorrow, how about that? Toronto, 6 degrees for your high. And we go from above the freezing mark, or from below the freezing mark to above, to end off your weekend. Jaden?
All right, thanks so much, Nora. Today marks the... Let's take a look at our weather forecast. Nora, just when we thought it was kind of cold, winter is finally here, is it going to last? Are we seeing milder temperatures? Or
That's an amazing question, Jaden. And you know what? I think Mother Nature really likes to keep us on our toes.
No kidding. Always, right?
Milder temperatures on the way, certainly.
Okay.
For central Canada and the east. How mild will it get in your community? Let's find out. We're talking 6 degrees for your high in Toronto tomorrow. That's 3 degrees above average. Unfortunately, there isn't much sunshine to go along with it, but it will be quite windy. That's what I want to mention, especially in the morning hours. It's going to be wind gusts around the 50-55 kilometer-per-hour rate. We are going to see, though, that mild temperature extend towards large parts of central and eastern Canada, as I mentioned. Already seeing that activity in Ottawa tomorrow, Montreal, +3 degrees, eventually making its way into the Maritimes. Things are going to start to get interesting over here as well. We're above the freezing mark, Saskatoon into Calgary, and into the next few days we're going to see that seesaw unfold, where it's mild over here and quite cold over here. We're talking into the -20s, -30s at times. Let's focus on our own problems, which is this Alberta Clipper. As it pushes east, it'll be the Maritimes problem come tomorrow, but we're not done with the precipitation just yet. There is another system moving through, and notice how this one brings a lot more rain than snow. Could that be a sign of warmer weather? We'll find out. Here we are tomorrow morning. We are looking at those lingering bands towards the east, as I mentioned. Some snow into Cornwall, heavy in Montreal. And as the day progresses, we get a bit of a break, some sunny activity, some sunny breaks rather, in Bancroft, Muskoka by the afternoon. Then this guy rolls in. By Monday, it'll be rain for most of southwestern Ontario, much of the GTA, but areas like Peterborough into Tweed and Kingston, we could see mixed precipitation transitioning to snow by the afternoon, and this system will be over by the end of your Monday. We will see multiple rounds of messy weather, though, unfold in the coming days, so that won't be the end of the messy conditions just yet. +6 in Toronto tomorrow, as I mentioned. Fort Erie also +6, 4 in Brantford, Ontario. And in your next 7 days, 3 on Monday with that heavy rain, up to 6 once again on Tuesday. And then it's flurries, 2 degrees by Wednesday. The sun returns Thursday into Friday. But watch out for that hard freeze. This is where we could see some of our viewing regions looking at black ice forming because of how quickly some of those temperatures will dip from above the freezing mark to below in the matter of hours. So do be mindful when you're walking on those slippery sidewalks. -3 for your Friday, cloudy by Saturday, +2 degrees.
For our first look at the forecast, let's bring in weather specialist Nora Raffet.
Hey, thanks very much, Jaden. Well, it seemed like there was no end in sight for this wintry weather, and you know what? We're not done with it quite yet. This Alberta Clipper has been taking over much of the province throughout the course of the day, pushing east, and that's where it's lingering the most. We're seeing heavier bands also pushing through the Stratford area just about an hour or so ago. You can see there's a lot more rain over here in southwestern Ontario, and that's thanks to these milder temperatures. At this hour, 5 degrees in Windsor, 4 around Sarnia, St. Catharines, and as you push east, still into those sub-zero conditions, -10 in Timmins just now. Now, the reason for these milder temperatures, strong winds predominantly from the south, at times the southwest, and those have caused these weather alerts or weather statements in place for communities along areas like Port Colborne and Haldimand County. 80-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts possible as we head into the overnight and into tomorrow morning, and we've already see it nearing that range around Niagara Falls. 72-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts, or at least that's what it peaked today, and still counting. This system will linger, especially in the east, as we head into the overnight, starting to clear up pretty quickly as we head into tomorrow morning, and some might be seeing some sunny breaks around Muskoka, even towards Bancroft into the afternoon. We won't be done with the messy weather quite yet, because as Monday rolls around, we've got system number 2. We'll talk about that in the full forecast. For now, how's your day looking in Toronto tomorrow? Well, how about a high of +6 degrees all of a sudden? That's a nice one. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of sunshine to keep us company. Along with these mild temperatures, do expect some windy conditions, especially in the morning. Jaden?
All right, thanks so much, Nora. The Canada... All right, it's time to check on our full weather forecast. Nora, I was a little bit kind of down because it's getting really cold, but sounds like that might not last for too much longer.
Yeah, that's the case, Jaden, for many parts of central Canada and the east. In the coming days, we are expecting a sudden shift in winds, and for some, that's going to mean some milder temperatures. Maybe you'd want to put away your winter coat briefly. Let's take a look. Well, if you are wearing your winter coat tomorrow, I think you might be sweating in Toronto. A high of +6 degrees and hitting that into the late morning. Unfortunately, we won't see a whole lot of sunshine with it. A lot of cloud cover, windy conditions, especially in the morning, gusting up to 50-55 kilometers per hour. We're going to start to see that mild air take hold. Central Canada pushing to the east, already seeing those temperatures above the freezing mark in Montreal by tomorrow, 5 degrees in Halifax, but we will get to some double digits quite soon. Not for Toronto, but for other communities along, the more that you push east, double digits over here, but below the freezing mark. By Wednesday into Thursday, -20s and -30s in the prairies as a trough starts to form. So colder air around the North Pole dipping down south, and with it, those frigid temperatures. We don't want to talk about minus double digits here. We want to talk about the snow that we're seeing. Here is that Alberta Clipper. It is pushing east by Sunday. Quebec and the Maritimes will be dealing with that problem. We will get round 2 as we start the work week. Here is that low pressure system, and notice how it's bringing a lot more rain than snow, at least in the beginning, and that will mean for areas like the GTHA wet conditions, but as you push east towards areas like Kingston, Peterborough, a transition from snow to rain and eventually or potentially freezing rain. So here we are. Looking into the far east by tomorrow, still some of those heavy bands. By the afternoon, much of this clearing out and some breaks in that cloud cover. And then Monday rolls around, and here is that system. As I mentioned, wet for much of southwestern Ontario. Around parts of the GTHA, could be seeing snow more so to the north. And this system is going to linger towards the evening hours, pushing into the overnight hours as we head into Tuesday. But we will eventually get some sunny breaks heading into your Tuesday morning. Now, it will will coincide with some milder temperatures for some, so it won't be the end of temperatures like these in Toronto. 6 by tomorrow, 8 in Windsor, and as we head into some more communities around the lake, Niagara Falls 6 degrees, 5 in Belleville. Here we are by Tuesday, yet again. 6 degrees for Toronto, mainly cloudy. I did mention there might be some sunny breaks, so watch out for that. Wednesday, +2 degrees, and then back down to those frigid temperatures. Thursday, Friday, do watch out. Some communities could be seeing a hard freeze, as if you're seeing some rain on Wednesday. Thursday, suddenly into the freezing mark in a short amount of hours. That might cause some black ice on the roads, so be mindful of those slippery conditions. Saturday, 2 degrees, cloudy.
Today marks the